Do you think self-discipline is about forcing yourself to power through life with unyielding willpower, constantly pushing yourself to exhaustion? That's the image we're often sold, a picture of rigid determination and ceaseless effort. But let me tell you something. Self-discipline isn't about fighting yourself. It's about understanding yourself. It's about building a life where your actions flow naturally toward what matters most, without endless resistance. Imagine waking up each day, energized, with every choice you make bringing you closer to the life you want. That's the kind of discipline we're talking about here. Not one driven by sheer force, but one built on purpose, clarity, and alignment. When your actions align with your values, discipline stops being a chore and starts feeling like freedom. But let's not jump ahead. To understand self-discipline, we need to look at how habits shape us. Think about your daily actions: brushing your teeth, checking your phone, pouring your morning coffee. These aren't decisions, they're habits, automatic behaviors that form the foundation of your life. Aristotle said it best: we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So the question is, what habits are shaping your character right now? Are they building the person you want to become, or are they pulling you in another direction? Self-discipline isn't about making grand gestures. It's about making small, deliberate choices consistently over time. It's the tiny decisions, choosing to write for 10 minutes instead of scrolling on your phone or taking the stairs instead of the elevator, that add up to massive change. These moments might seem insignificant in isolation, but they're the building blocks of transformation. And while we're on the subject of transformation, let's talk about the people in your life. Have you ever noticed how the people around you influence your habits? Maybe it's as simple as joining in when friends order dessert, or as subtle as adopting a coworker's pessimistic outlook about a project. We're social creatures. We mirror the behaviors and attitudes of those we spend the most time with. So ask yourself, who are the people shaping your habits? Are they inspiring you to grow or holding you back? If you find yourself surrounded by negativity or stagnation, don't despair. Change doesn't have to mean cutting people out of your life. It can start with seeking out new influences. Join a group that shares your passions. Spend time with people who encourage your growth, and set boundaries with those who drain your energy. Your environment is one of the most powerful tools for shaping who you become, so choose it wisely. Let's address another common trap: the illusion of the perfect future self. You know the one. The version of you that starts tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll wake up early, eat healthy, exercise, and finally tackle that dream project. But tomorrow is a seductive lie. The truth is, the future you isn't someone different. They're just today's you, older. If you can't take a small step now, what makes you think it'll be easier later? Start where you are with what you have. Do you want to write a book? Write one sentence today. Dream of getting in shape? Take a 5-minute walk. The lie of procrastination is that you need to do everything at once or not at all. But the reality is, progress is built on tiny, consistent steps, and every step, no matter how small, is a victory. Self-discipline, at its core, is about energy, mental, physical, and emotional. Think of your energy like a budget. Every decision you make spends a little of it, whether it's choosing what to wear, debating what to eat, or resisting the urge to procrastinate. By the end of the day, your reserves might be drained, making it harder to stick to your intentions. So how can you make that budget stretch further? Start with the basics. Simplify your decisions. Plan your meals, set a daily routine, and eliminate unnecessary choices. Save your energy for what truly matters. And don't forget to take care of your physical body. It's the foundation of your mental strength. When you're well-rested, well-nourished, and active, your willpower grows stronger. Even small actions like going to bed 15 minutes earlier or taking a quick walk during the day can make a big difference. But what happens when life throws obstacles in your way? What happens when stress, setbacks, or negative thoughts threaten to derail you? These moments don't just test your discipline, they shape it. Let's start with your thoughts. Have you ever tried to push a negative thought out of your mind, only to have it come back stronger? This is the paradox of suppression. The harder you fight your thoughts, the more power they gain. Instead of battling your thoughts, try observing them. Picture them as leaves floating down a river. You don't need to grab them or push them away, just let them drift by. When you name a thought, there's my fear about failing, or there's my frustration about work, you create distance. You're no longer consumed by the thought, you're simply noticing it. This practice, simple as it sounds, can free you from the cycle of resistance and allow you to focus on what truly matters. And then there's the matter of mistakes. We all make them. Maybe you skipped a workout, broke your diet, or procrastinated on a deadline. It's easy to let one slip turn into a spiral. But think about this. If a friend came to you feeling defeated after a mistake, would you tear them down, or would you offer encouragement and remind them that one misstep doesn't define them? Why not offer yourself that same kindness? Mistakes aren't failures, they're feedback. They're chances to learn, adjust, and move forward. Progress isn't erased by a single setback. It's built by showing up again and again and again. Treat yourself with compassion, not criticism. Remind yourself that every stumble is a part of the journey, not the end of it. Now let's talk about stress. Stress often gets a bad reputation, but it's not inherently negative. Stress is a signal that something matters to you. It's your body's way of preparing you to rise to a challenge. The key is to reframe it. Instead of seeing stress as a threat, view it as fuel, energy that you can channel toward your goals. Healthy coping strategies can transform stress into strength. Journaling, meditating, or simply taking a walk can clear your mind and help you refocus. Reflect on what your stress is telling you. Is there a specific fear or pressure you need to address? Or is it simply a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and growing? Either way, stress isn't your enemy, it's a teacher. Self-discipline also requires balancing pleasure and progress. Life isn't about denying yourself joy or indulgence, it's about finding harmony. Have you ever justified a treat by saying, I deserve this because I worked hard? That's moral licensing at play, a subtle trap where you reward yourself in ways that undermine your progress. The solution isn't to eliminate rewards, it's to choose rewards that support your goals. Celebrate your successes with meaningful experiences, things that energize you and keep you aligned with your values. And when you do indulge, do it mindfully. Instead of mindlessly eating that chocolate or scrolling through your phone, pause. Savor the moment. Make it intentional. When you bring awareness to your choices, pleasure becomes a source of nourishment, not a distraction. So how do you keep all this together? The habits, the energy, the resilience, the balance. Start with the pause. The next time you feel an impulsive urge, whether it's to procrastinate, overindulge, or give up, stop. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I about to do and why? That single moment of reflection can change everything. It shifts you from autopilot to intention, from reaction to action. And finally, remember that self-discipline is a journey of self-compassion and growth. It's not about being perfect, it's about becoming. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward the person you're meant to be. Treat yourself with the kindness and patience you'd offer to a close friend. Celebrate your progress, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. Self-discipline isn't a fight against yourself. It's a commitment to becoming your best self. It's about small, consistent actions that align with your purpose. It's about finding strength in challenges, joy in progress, and balance in life. And most of all, it's about showing up for yourself day after day with courage, wisdom, and an open heart. The journey won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. So take the first step. You've got this. When you commit to this path of self-discipline, you're stepping into a relationship with yourself that's built on trust. Trust that you will show up, even when it's hard. Trust that your actions today, no matter how small, will compound into something extraordinary tomorrow. And trust that you're capable of more than you realize. Think of your journey like planting a garden. Each small step you take is a seed. Whether it's choosing to spend 10 minutes reading something that enriches you, replacing one unhealthy snack with a healthier choice, or simply pausing to reflect on your day. At first, those seeds may seem insignificant. You might wonder if they'll ever grow, but over time, with patience and care, they take root. They grow stronger. And one day you look back and realize you've cultivated something beautiful, something far greater than the sum of its parts. It's natural to feel discouraged sometimes. to question whether all this effort is really worth it. On those days, it's important to reconnect with your why. Why do you want to be disciplined? What kind of life are you building? Who are you doing this for? When you anchor your actions in a sense of purpose, the challenges don't disappear, but they feel lighter. Purpose gives meaning to your discipline, and meaning gives you strength. Let's talk about how to stay anchored to that purpose when life gets noisy. One powerful tool is reflection. Set aside a few moments each day to ask yourself, what went well today? What could I improve tomorrow? What did I learn about myself? Reflection isn't about judgment, it's about understanding. It's a way to keep your eyes on the bigger picture, even when you're caught up in the details of daily life. Another way to stay grounded is by practicing gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's still out of reach, but gratitude shifts your attention to what you've already achieved and the abundance around you. Take a moment each day to acknowledge 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun, the support of a loved one, or even the fact that you made it through a tough day. Gratitude reminds you that progress isn't just about striving, it's also about appreciating. And remember, this journey isn't meant to be walked alone. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who inspire you to be better, and who remind you of your potential when you forget. Community is one of the most underrated aspects of self-discipline. When you're part of a group that shares your values and vision, your momentum grows exponentially. Their encouragement becomes your fuel and your growth becomes theirs. At the same time, don't underestimate the importance of boundaries. Not everyone in your life will support your journey, and that's okay. It's not your job to please everyone. Protect your energy like it's the most valuable resource you have, because it is. Learn to say no to what doesn't serve you so you can say yes to what does. As you move forward, be prepared for setbacks. They will come. You'll have days when you feel like giving up, when the path seems too steep or the progress too slow. But here's the truth. Setbacks are not the end of the road. They're detours. They're opportunities to pause, reassess, and adjust. They remind you that growth isn't linear. It's a spiral where each loop brings you closer to your goal. When you stumble, don't let shame or guilt hold you back. Instead, lean into curiosity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What will I do differently next time? This mindset turns failure into feedback and feedback into fuel. And finally, never forget that self-discipline isn't just about achieving external goals. It's about who you're becoming in the process. It's about building a life that feels meaningful, fulfilling, and true to who you are. The destination is important, but the journey, the person you're shaping yourself into, is the ultimate reward. So here's the heart of it. Self-discipline is an act of love. Love for your future self, love for the life you're creating, and love for the person you are right now, imperfections and all. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about showing up even when it's hard. And it's about trusting that every step, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. As you continue on this journey, remember that you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to know every step of the way. All you need is the courage to take the next step and the faith to keep going. Because every time you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over procrastination, and growth over comfort, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of greatness. And that greatness, it's not some distant, unreachable thing. It's already within you, waiting to be uncovered, one small, deliberate action at a time. So take a breath, take that next step, and trust the process. You've got this. And the person you're becoming is worth it. As you take each step forward, let's address one final truth. Self-discipline is not a destination. It's a way of being, a mindset that evolves and deepens over time. It's the quiet decision to prioritize what matters most, even when no one is watching. It's the choice to grow not because you have to, but because you can. But don't mistake this path for one of deprivation or endless sacrifice. On the contrary, self-discipline, when done right, brings a kind of freedom that's hard to put into words. It frees you from the tyranny of your impulses, from the chaos of indecision, and from the regret of unfulfilled potential. It's not about controlling every moment of your life. It's about creating a life that feels aligned with who you truly are. To sustain this kind of discipline, You need to nurture your relationship with yourself. You are not a machine, and discipline doesn't mean ignoring your humanity. It means honoring it. It means listening to your body when it's tired, forgiving yourself when you falter, and celebrating yourself when you succeed. Because every moment of self-discipline is an act of self-respect. And speaking of self-respect, let's revisit the idea of balance. Too often, people approach discipline as an all-or-nothing endeavor. They swing between extremes, working tirelessly one day and burning out the next. But true discipline isn't about extremes. It's about steadiness. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you, one that allows you to make progress while still enjoying the journey. Think of it like a pendulum. If you swing too far in one direction, denying yourself every pleasure or pushing yourself beyond your limits, you'll eventually swing back in the opposite direction. But if you aim for balance, for consistency, you'll find that the pendulum settles. It becomes a steady, harmonious motion. That's where discipline thrives, not in perfection, but in balance. To keep that balance, it's helpful to periodically check in with yourself. Ask questions like, am I being too hard on myself? Am I being too lenient? What adjustments can I make to stay aligned with my values? These moments of self-reflection are like course corrections, ensuring that you stay on the path that feels right for you. And let's not forget the importance of joy. Joy is not the opposite of discipline. It's its companion. When you approach your goals with a sense of curiosity and playfulness, the journey becomes lighter. Discipline doesn't have to be grim or serious all the time. It can be an adventure, a process of discovery, and even a source of delight. For example, if you're building a habit of exercising, try exploring different activities until you find one you genuinely enjoy. If you're working on a creative project, let yourself experiment and make mistakes without judgment. When you bring joy into the process, discipline becomes something you look forward to, not something you dread. As you integrate these practices into your life, you'll start to notice something remarkable. Self-discipline doesn't just change what you do, it changes how you see yourself. With every small promise you keep to yourself, your confidence grows. With every step forward, your belief in your own potential strengthens. You start to see yourself not just as someone who tries, but as someone who succeeds. And that shift, seeing yourself as capable, resilient, and worthy, is perhaps the greatest gift of all. It's the realization that self-discipline isn't about proving something to the world. It's about proving something to yourself. It's about showing yourself that you are enough just as you are and that you have the power to create the life you want. So as you move forward, hold on to this truth. Every act of self-discipline, no matter how small, is a step toward a richer, fuller life. It's a step toward the person you're becoming, the person who chooses growth over stagnation, purpose over distraction, and love over fear. It's a step toward a life that's not just lived, but truly lived. Thank you for taking this journey with me. My hope is that these words stay with you, not as rules to follow, but as reminders of your own strength. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. All you need is the courage to start, the patience to keep going, and the wisdom to know that you're worth it. This is your path, your story, your life, and I believe in you. Let's go rewrite what's possible. You've got this.